Good evening. This is Biafra 360 coming live from you to you from here, Washington, D.C. Good evening, good day, wherever you are. With me tonight is Miss Susan, a human rights activist, and also Miss D, revolutionary activist.
Hello, I'm Susan Mount, healthcare worker in America and human rights activist and freedom fighter. Nice to meet everybody, and thank you for allowing me to be here today. I want to be here as an encouragement and a supporter of the people of Biafra and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of Biafra. So thank you for allowing me to join. I'm going to try to say something Igbo. Dalunu Ndewunu. Thank you.
And she is a lover of Biafra. Miss D, I gave you 1 minute to greet our audience here in Biafra Television, BTV. You are now live. As we all know, the Biafrans all over the world are in pain. We are in pain because we are being treated, or we are all enslaved all over the world. And this time we are in pain mostly because our leader, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been adopted and now in the custody of the DSS in Nigeria. This evening, we are going to intensify or encourage everyone under the earth to keep on protesting, keep on letting the whole world know that the injustice and that the killings and the atrocities happening in Nigeria is beyond our imagination. And the whole world is standing aloof, just looking and watching. And time is now for us to let the whole world know that the Biafrans have had enough. We have had enough. We have gone through enough. And we want the whole world to hear us. And we need justice. This time around, I would like us to watch the presentation or the call for rally by the World Igbo Congress, the leader of the World Igbo Congress. Let's watch.
Hello to all Igbo people in the diaspora, to all children of Oduduwa in the diaspora, to all Middle Belters in the diaspora. I bring you greetings from the headquarters of the World Igbo Congress in the United States of America. I am Professor Anthony Ejiofor, Executive Chairman of the Board of Directors and the House of Delegates of the World Igbo Congress. I want to break protocol in order to bring you this message in English instead of the usual Igbo language because of these compatriots who are not Igbos who are listening to this broadcast. The message I have for you is simple and very straightforward and brief too. The message centers on two key issues. One is the extrajudicial killing and massacre of our people in Nigeria. The other is the abduction of Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya, the travails of Sunday Igboho, and the massacre of people in Benue State. I want to start the first part by painting for us the big picture of what we are up against. That big picture captures the perpetual struggle between Islam and Christianity. I like to remind us that the Caliphate jihadists started their operations from the Middle East, from Syria, Iran, Iraq, and then moved to Afghanistan. By the time they unleashed their mayhem on the population of the world, United States was affected. You remember 9/11 in 2001. Right now, the Caliphate has overrun the Sahel region of Africa. Indeed, North Africa, the Sahel region, and the entire West Africa up to the Central African Republic are all part of the Maghreb area in the new order of the Islamic world. What we are looking at is that right now, this caliphate driving their activities with Al-Qaeda and ISIS have really arrived Nigeria. Indeed, their foot soldiers are Fulani people, 6 million people in Nigeria, compared to 211.7 million people that we have in Nigeria. They are the ones driving this. In Nigeria, they are propelled by ISWAP, which is ISIS in West Africa. They are propelled by Boko Haram. And now the deadly, vicious AK-47 carrying Fulani herdsmen who kill, maim, rape, do everything. They are the foot soldiers of the caliphate in Nigeria. As things stand, everything going on in Nigeria today is in furtherance of the big picture that the caliphate is determined to foist on all of us. That is to say, Islamize the entire area, Fulanize the entire area. Now, the people of Middle Belt and Southern Nigeria must therefore stand up strong to stop this Fulanization being pushed by these 6 million Fulani people against the estimated 211.7 million Nigerians. Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB have been tagged terrorists by the Fulani-occupied Nigerian government. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, no other country in the world has done so. No other country has tagged the IPOB and Nnamdi Kanu as terrorists. And this is because they do not meet the minimum standards for classification of any entity to be terrorists. On the contrary, the Boko Haram, of course, has been tagged terrorists, ISWAP the same, but the Fulani herdsmen have not been tagged terrorists, and they are. Recently, just last month, Nnamdi was abducted from Kenya in an operation that is reminiscent of what happened to Umaru Diko and the crate. My people, what that shows is that there is everything in it that is illegal. Illegal international gangsterism and negation and no respect for the rule of law. Sunday Igboho was attacked in his hometown, Igboho, in southwestern Nigeria. His house was burnt. His people were massacred. Recently, Benue people in the Middle Belt were sacked from their indigenous lands. They were put into camps. And even in those camps, which we called IDPs, they were still attacked and killed. Hundreds of them were killed. How long will this continue in Nigeria? Now, what do all these people have in common? Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, Sunday Igboho and his people, the Benue people, what do they have in common? They stand in the way of the scheme of the Fulani Caliphate. That is why they must be taken out. And make no mistake about it, the Nigerian government is the enabler because they look the other way when Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Fulani herdsmen are carrying out mayhem on other people. So, and knowing them as we do, they will stop at nothing to do what? To eliminate any obstacle in their way, even if it means killing the entire 211.7 million people who are not Fulani or Hausa. I'm sorry, Fulani or non-Muslims. I must doff my hat for the stalwart called Governor Sam Otom of Benue State. This man has stood like a firewall between his people and the rampaging caliphate foot soldiers. I therefore call on the governors of the South, entire South, to be like Governor Otom, who is not shy to protect his people. I would like these governors and other leaders in Southeast and South-South to be more proactive in the defense of their people. We do commend them for coming together and making some laudable pronouncements recently, but they need to do more. These caliphate foot soldiers ain't playing at all. You don't joke with them. On our part, in the diaspora, our people from Middle Belt, our people from the South, and all the people from areas in Nigeria that have been oppressed and massacred, we owe it as a duty to ourselves and our beleaguered people at home to stand up and let the world know what is going on in our part of Nigeria. We will let the centers of political power, the centers of diplomatic power in the world, will make them become aware of the danger facing Christians in the hands of jihadists in Nigeria and West Africa. We are asking for a referendum which will allow the people of Nigeria, over 400 diverse ethnic groups that are actually complete ethnic nationalities. We are asking that they be allowed to choose how they rule themselves. Therefore, a referendum will be the proper thing to do at this time. We are asking for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who was criminally abducted from Kenya. No international standards were observed. We are not even talking about trial. We are talking about release unconditional release because of the crookedness of the process with which he was abducted. We are asking for all forms of killing in the Middle Belt and the South to cease. And we're calling on the federal government to pull the troops they have unleashed on the people with a shoot-at-sight order. We are asking for the proscription for the real terrorists, the Fulani herdsmen. We are asking for them to be proscribed and labeled or classified as terrorists accordingly. May the Lord Almighty guide you and protect you in this endeavor. Thank you all so very much, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was the chairman of the World Igbo Congress, Professor Anthony Ejiofor. He said it, and he said it clearly. He said it in no other way for us to understand that our lives are in danger. If we don't do nothing, we all perish. Earlier in this episode, I had called for Miss D to introduce herself, but we had technical difficulties. Now she is here. I would like Miss D, please give us an introduction of who you are and what you do. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Deneen Etienne. I'm an African American activist here in the United States, and I've had my own struggles with fighting for equal equality for women in construction and the Biafrans in Nigeria. And I just want to let you Biafrans know and Nigeria know you guys need to stand together. There's no other way. And there's only so much that we can do, but we have to do it together. If we don't group together and make this a worldwide thing, nothing will ever happen. So I just want to encourage everyone to stand together, fight together, because if it happens to one, it happens to all. So I just want to encourage you just to stand together.
Thank you. Thank you. With us here in the studio or connected is Miss Susan. Miss Susan, you all have seen her face, and most of us have seen that she has been active fighting for the freedom of Biafra. She has been all over the place on the social media and also a foot soldier marching for the freedom of Biafra. Tonight or this afternoon, evening in Biafra land, I would ask Miss Susan, what is your motivation? I know some of us, those in Biafra land, will be wondering, why is this lady fighting so hard for people she never met, for a country or a nation that majority or all of them, they don't even look like you? What is your motivation? Why are you so much interested in the freedom of Biafra?
Well, thank you for having me. And to all the Biafrans who haven't already heard why I fight for Biafrans, it started with me getting on my knees and asking God to lead me to do greater things than myself. From then, I started to see massive migration out of Africa into Libya, surviving Libya and crossing the Mediterranean, and surviving the Mediterranean into Europe. And I wanted to know why people are leaving their homelands and their families. And I started studying what was going on, and I started fighting. I met certain immigrants, and I started fighting for Christian Nigerians because obviously I'm a Christian, which led me to Biafrans. I saw my first Biafran flag on social media from Biafrans that were sharing their struggle on social media, as we all know, because the Nigerian media does not cover the truth about what's going on and the marginalization of Biafrans. So by the Biafrans advertising their own media and showing their own media and what's going on with them, I kept seeing the Biafran flag, and I'm like, I got to know more about these people. So I say it was God Almighty through my spirit, because I feel a connection spiritually to the people of Biafra. And we all know Biafra is a spirit. We all know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows that spirit. We all know that we know that spirit. And from then on, I have been connected spiritually. I do believe that God led me to this point. So that's what drives me.
Thank you. Thank you. I will also bring in Miss D. Miss D, I remember you were so much involved and advising the women wing at POB in Washington, D.C. on the 17th and the 18th of June when they marched through the White House, through the State Department, and also Capitol Hill. You are the one of the voices that encourage the women to continue what they are doing. And then you have some advice. You advise them, and I would like you to please share with us some of the advices you have for the Biafra freedom. And how do you think we should or will continue to actualize Biafra? Ms. T.
Um, First, I would like to say, the women of BM, they are the voice. And I find that here and also in America as well. Women are very strong and powerful in what they say and what they do. And I encouraged all of them at that point to set up some type of organization, because when you go and talk to the people in DC, as we all know, there are certain things that are applicable to people in government and the citizens of Biafran, the citizens of America, and they make things conducive to them when it's convenient. And right now, if we all stood up for Biafrans and let people know, even around the world, what is going on, I don't think anybody that is a human being would let this continue to go on. These killings of innocent lives of people. And I say it again and time again, if it happens to one, it happens to all. So I have to say to the Biafrans, we all have to come together. We all need to make the sacrifice, contact our congressmen, our senators, our legislative bodies, our president, the president, of Africa, and say, hey, look, this cannot continue. And if we do it consecutively, things will change. Phone calls, emails, letters, it will all change. And sometimes it does take one person to lead that fight, but eventually someone will hear you. And if we continue on doing this, someone will make that phone call and say, how can we help? And so I encourage every last one of you to stand together. And for the militants that are over there, hurting and killing people, you have no idea what you're doing. You're covering the masses, and the masses doesn't care about you, because at the end of the day, when stuff rolls downhill, they will get rid of you too. So I just want to say, we all have to stick together. And if it doesn't happen, we're not going to get anywhere. And I agree with Susan that, things need to change, and we are watching. I watched one of Susan's videos, and we are watching right here from America. And we can't condone what is going on over there. We can't continue to allow this to happen in Biafran. So I just want to say again, please, you have to stop what you're doing and think about what you're doing to your country, to the people. It is wrong. It is so wrong. And I encourage all the Biafrans here in America, you have to stick together. Please don't just sit at home and think that a miracle is going to drop out of the sky. You have to be active. You have to be proactive. You have to be that revolutionist to say, we cannot continue to allow this to happen. So I just want to encourage you guys to come out on the 21st of July and stand together. American, I don't care what nationality you are, we all have to stick together. This is inhumane, and it could not continue. It cannot continue.
Thank you. Thank you. Miss Susan, I know you have seen some or most of the graphic images coming out from Biafra land. The killings. Women, they slash out the stomach, whether they don't care whether she's pregnant or not. You've seen a lot of them. They bust their head open, blood gushing, and we wonder, have you ever, or can you compare the killings happening in Biafra land to anywhere else in the world? And yet, the whole world is watching. The treatment or the measures the Western use, it appears to be different from the ones they use for other countries. Could it be because we are Biafrans? Or could it be just the whole world against Biafrans? You know that the majority of those in the East are Christians. It is not just about Biafrans. It's a struggle between the evil against God's own people. How do you see this coming out of Biafra, and then the rest of the world appears to be silent? Miss Susan?
Yes, thank you. So, in my search as to why our country, America, is not helping Biafrans, I've learned a lot of things, because I've asked myself this same question. Why is our government not coming to the rescue of innocent people? And obviously, we know, like Miss P said, we fight for our own freedom. Biafrans obviously are going to have to fight for their own freedom. But I've asked myself the question, why has our American government not come to the aid of Biafrans? And I actually reached somebody in the State Department and asked them the same thing. Why in a country They're putting terrorists, they're forgiving terrorist crime, Operation Safe Corridor, and putting them in the military and trusting that they're repentant, even though there's no one on ground to watch them, and silently going and slaughtering people. Why are we, and I'm sure everybody in America, not average citizens, but the government of America should be aware of this. And I'm wondering, why are we not doing anything? Recently in the news, you saw how people are standing up for the Cubans in Cuba. But Biafrans have been suffering this genocide for years. Years. I'm talking many years. And in my conclusion, what I can come up with myself, without the government actually admitting why, or the international community admitting why, because there's special interests. There must be special interests in Nigeria. So, obviously, there's oil in the East. We know that the British, the UK, they're silent about the slaughter of Biafrans because they have an interest in that oil. Same with some of the American oil companies, which I do believe that we should be not only protesting in DC, but we should also be protesting these companies. Because if they're going to be allowed to come in there to get oil from the terrorist sponsoring Nigerian government that sponsors terrorists out of their own mouths, and at the cost of innocent people's lives, we should be protesting those companies. So I believe we should take the protest not only to the government, but also the special interests people that go to Nigeria. So it's not just Americans and the UK. Now China is trying to get their jaws in Nigeria. Then you've got people in the Middle East who the terrorists pledge allegiance to, buying up infrastructure in Nigeria. So I truly believe that people are not coming to the rescue of the people in the Southwest, the Oduduwas, and the Southeast, Biafrans, because there's special interests there. And I noticed the Nigerian terrorist sponsoring government, they love hiding. They threaten the media. They pay the media off so that no one in the international community can see what's going on or the truth. So the Biafrans have put the truth in front of us. And if we open our eyes and look, we can see the truth of what's going on. So like Misty said, what happens over there can happen to all of us. So the Biafrans are the only people that can stop what is the overtaking, the Islamization of Nigeria and all of Africa. The Biafrans are the stopping point for them, and the Oduduwas. And it's a threat. It's a threat to the terrorists and the terrorist sponsoring government. So obviously they're going to make the Biafran people, like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, look like the bad guys so that they can gain support from the international community to help fight Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is not a bad guy. He is a good guy. He's trying to protect his people. So I truly believe that the reason the international community has not addressed this, which over 5 million Biafrans have been slaughtered and counting, I truly believe there's special interests. What those special interests are, I can only guess. But I am truly trying to get into this and figure out what these special interests are, because other than that, I have no explanation as to why we will fight for other countries with less of a genocide, which I would never, undermine a genocide. A genocide is a genocide. But Biafrans have had a genocide against them for centuries. and years, and over 5 million gone Biafrans, innocent lives, and nothing's being done. And that is the big question of the day. Why? Why have we not done anything? Thank you.
There, my sister. It's not just 5 million people. That's 5 million, about 5 million killed between 1966 and 1970. And between
Yes, that's why I said
1970,
it's counting.
yes, counting. Between 1970 till today, they have been killing and massacring our people, my people, the Biafrans, not just by weapon or by machete. No good road, no hospital, not even no education, no electricity. We don't know how many people being killed by um, from using generators. They intentionally created poverty to make the good ones, the smart ones, to live. And yet, when we leave the country, it's not the solution. Most of us have been in the diaspora for over 40 years, ready to go back home, but there's no home to go back to. That is a problem. The oil that is sustaining Nigeria, the resources sustaining Nigeria and other nations are mostly from the Biafra land. Yet, we are the poorest, and we are the ones leaving that vicinity to look for green pasture. Like our sister said earlier, a lot of people are living, dying in the Mediterranean Sea, and yet the world is just watching. The indigenous people of Biafra are not terrorists. Only the Nigerian government classified them as terrorists. The rest of the world knows that we are only fighting or struggling to be on our own, to live just like any other human being would like to live. Miss D, you know what America went through before their independence. You know that Britain and America had to struggle, fight before they left there and came down here for the sake of survival. But today, you have seen it, the treatment of our own people in America and all over the world. And as a revolutionist, you know that things happen for a reason and that we need to take advantage of this, even though people think that since our leader has been adopted, that we need to back down and take it calm and calm down. I don't think that has been the how it happened in America. Ms. D, can you take us back a little bit? What America themselves or herself went through before America became free and then continued to encourage Biafrans to come out and meet with the lawmakers anywhere until we get to the promised land, Biafra.
Yes, we definitely need to contact our legislative bodies and our congressmen and senators, and if they don't do anything regarding this or even respond to you as a citizen, as a constituent of your state. There's things you can do to make them respond. And I've said this time and time again that, you know, when we contact our legislators here and they don't do their job of addressing issues that we have brought forth, we can file ethics complaints against these individuals. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't know. And I don't care what state you're in, it can be done. Because what they do behind these doors is make decisions amongst themselves and ignore us as African Americans, constituents, and we're the taxpayers. And why do we have to continue to go through this time and time again when we're addressing issues about human rights, about citizens that are inquiring about what is going on in their communities, with their families, overseas? I mean, what are we doing here? Are we ignoring the fact that we're all human beings? Because this is a big problem. When they make laws conducive for them, when things happen with them, and we're talking about our government, the policies and procedures that have been put in place, and they continue to be ignored time and time again. Africans were taken from there and brought to America to fight back, and we're fighting. We got a new president that is saying to us that we're going to do everything in our power to make it right. Well, it still hasn't been done. So we're still fighting. We're still fighting. And what needs to happen is we need to contact our senators and congressmen and demand that we be heard. Because, see, what they're not doing is not listening. And so if we inundate them with phone calls, emails, showing up at their offices, at the State Department, eventually something will happen. Eventually someone will take notice. And that's what needs to happen here. So I want to encourage everyone within the sound of my voice to get out there, educate people on what it has to stop. It has to stop. So get out there, fight, march, do whatever you have to do. Send out letters. If you have somebody that can write one letter, that one letter can give to 20, and those 20 people can send phone calls to. I mean, they're going to get inundated and they're going to get frustrated and they're going to end up calling somebody saying, hey, we got your email, we got your phone call. What can we do? And those are the things that need to happen. They will tell you all daggone day long, well, you didn't follow this procedure and you didn't do this and you didn't do that. But you have to challenge them. You have to challenge them. Because what they'll do is they'll put some policy and procedure in your face and say, well, you didn't follow this and you didn't do this. But then you could come back and say, well, I've read in USC 142 or 143 that this and this happened. And I'm just saying numbers here. But I just want to encourage you guys to read up, and the people of Biafra, American Biafrans that are here right now in America, to educate yourselves on the laws and the policies and procedures and what is going on in Congress with your legislative bodies, and hold them accountable. Because if we don't, nobody else will. You're taxpayers now. You have every single right to question what is going on. Now you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. D. Ms. Susan, people, Britain, Britain. How many times I call Britain?
Yeah.
Britain is right behind the whole thing. And
Yes.
US and Britain are like brothers, blood brothers. I know any advice you have for Britain will also go for America. Miss Susan, what do you think about
Well, Britain. So I have recently called the government in the UK, and I told them specifically, both my grandparents served in World War II to keep Britain safe from Hitler, who already had half of France. And for Britain or the UK to support terrorists in Nigeria, not support the innocent people that are being slaughtered, I have a problem with it. And I, as an American, do not want to be an ally with a country that sponsors terrorists. We in America, we don't condone terrorism. We are against terrorism. Britain has been the problem from day one when they colonized the area or the contraption that's now called Nigeria. We all know that nobody native to the land that contains the contraption Nigeria was nobody from any ethnic group in that area, in that landmass, had a say at the table as to whether Nigeria needed to be put together. Nigeria was forced together by Lord Lugard and Britain. So, that being said, referendum should happen, and Britain should let Biafrans go. And the people themselves that are in the contraption, stuck in the contraption called Nigeria, which only, by the way, has only existed not that long, they should have a choice as to what they want to do. If they want to go back to the way it was before Nigeria, or whatever they want to do, they should be granted that referendum. Because nobody native to that land was at the table agreeing to Nigeria being thrown together. It was a British officer from Britain that made that decision. So it's not fair because they were thrown together. Everybody had different beliefs, different traditions, different ways of governing, different everything. And when you throw people together like that without them agreeing to it, you're going to get one mass chaos. And that's what happened. So Britain, I do not want to be allies with Britain. And I've told my Congress, and I'll continue to tell them, my grandpa served in World War II to keep Britain free from Hitler. Because Hitler had half of France at the time, threatening to take over France and take over Britain next. And for Britain to support terrorists and have genocide over people, sponsor that through the Fulanis, because they know the Fulanis are their little puppets, I have a problem with that. I'm going to start putting pressure on the government to get us out of being allies with Britain. If they don't shape up and stop sponsoring terrorists in terrorist-governed countries, I do not want to be allies with them. They are the problem. You're right. They are the problem. And again, I'm going to bring up, without the oil, the gold, and everything that these Fulanis, that's why they want Fulanis in charge of the government in Nigeria, so that they can have free reign to oil, gold, and everything in between. And the Nigerian terrorist sponsoring government, and some of the terrorists are in government, like El Rufai, the governor of Kaduna, and who was that other one? Pantami, and all of them. And you got Sheikh Gumi going around giving up money to the terrorists. And for us as Americans, no, we're not going to, no. If Britain wants to sponsor terrorists, I do not want to be allies with them, and I will pressure our government to give up being allies with Britain, because enough is enough. We all know Catriona Lang, the ambassador to Nigeria from Britain, or high commissioner, whatever you want to call her, or I call her evil. We already know that we have our own U.S. ambassador and her taking pictures with known terrorists and terrorist sponsors. I have a problem with that. I do not want somebody to represent me as an American in another country and take pictures with terrorist sponsors. No, enough is enough. And then at the cost of human lives, just like you told me earlier. Yes, I have seen the graphic videos of women being raped and left in the position after being raped, being chopped up and their body parts left in a field. I've seen men being hung in trees by their hands and feet and a fire lit under them by uniformed military and uniformed officers in Nigeria that have been compromised by terrorists. There should never be an Operation Safe Corridor. The people of Nigeria at the time did not want Operation Safe Corridor. Why are you repenting terrorists? How do you know that they just released over 1,000 supposed repentant Boko Haram out in the community and put in the military? No, enough is enough. American government needs to do something, and Biafrans, just like Miss Deneen said, Biafrans have to stand up. And I know it's hard because your life is in danger, but you have to stand against this in high numbers. I always say there's power in numbers. And just like Miss Deneen said, that's why I appeal to the international community. I don't care if you're American, and I'm glad I got to meet you, Miss Deneen, today. I don't care if you're American, European, from the UK. You know, our governments are just turning the other blind eye. They're turning a blind eye to what's going on over there. Or if they're not, if they truly know what's going on, they're not doing anything about it. And they're representing us. And that's not who we are as Americans.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
We are not.
And it all goes back to American greed. I keep saying that. If you're doing this over there, it's all about greed. It's something that is keeping these people to slaughter these people. I've seen videos as well, and it angers me because I cannot stand back and watch a man being his throat slit and thrown into a hole and trying to take his last breath. That is so inhumane. It is ridiculous, and that's not who we are. I cannot stand by and not say anything. I just can't. Yeah. And I'm sorry to cut you off, Susan, but I just want people to know that this is greed. This is what it all boils down to. It's greed.
Well, it also boils down to the Fulanis want to take over that land. They want Biafrans gone. And Biafrans are indigenous to that land. Fulanis are not indigenous, even though they will have people believe that they're indigenous. They are not indigenous. They took over the Hausas, that the northern region belonged to Hausas before the Fulanis came in. And they just came in and said, this land belongs to us. It's ours. But let me tell you what I truly believe. I truly believe these terrorist groups are deeply rooted, just like the professor said earlier on in the video, to Middle Eastern terrorists. And the Middle Eastern terrorists need finances. So, of course, they have their eye on Nigeria. Nigeria is low, and I don't even want to say Nigeria because Nigeria is not a country to me. The land that consists of the contraption, Nigeria, is loaded with milk and honey, is loaded with gold, oil, and everything. There's a reason why the Middle Eastern terrorists are sending ISWAP and ISIS, which is ISWAP and Boko Haram, and the Fulani herdsmen, which is Al Qaeda. And now rumor has it that El Rufai is the one that started Al Shabaab. Okay, El Rufai is a governor in northern Nigeria. Not Nigeria, the contraption. Okay, so why do these terrorists in the Middle East want access to this land? Well, they can get money from this land and continue to take over Africa and Europe. It came out of their own lips. Middle Eastern terrorists have, through their own mouth, had said that they are going to take over Africa first and move on to Europe and then the US. So, like you said, Miss Deneen, what happens over there will affect us. Because these terrorists are going to get citizenship. The Nigerian terrorist sponsoring government is letting them come in and get citizenship in Nigeria when they're not even born in Nigeria. And they get visas to come over here to America. So it's going to affect us eventually. It's going to affect us. And it is affecting us.
Yep, it's a matter of time. Right now in Britain, they have a section of their country calling for Sharia law. So when it comes very soon, the chicken will come home to roost. The Biafrans are waiting, and I know some are waiting to call in. I will soon open the floor for some of us who would like to call to thank our sisters and to encourage us to keep staying together and to keep the faith, keep marching until we get our referendum. And I know, and I'm very sure, why the terrorist Nigerian contraction doesn't want the referendum is because they already know how it will go. We need our referendum, and we're calling for everyone to come out in mass to protest and also to come out while praying for our leader to be released unconditionally, that we should continue to let the public know what is happening in the contraction called Nigeria. I would also ask that while we are praying, while we are reading the Psalms, that our people should also continue to get prepared. Should they bring reward to us, we shouldn't fold our arms, shouldn't fold our hands and watch. If we have any caller on the line, please go ahead and call 202-250-0001. This will be on WhatsApp, Signal, or Telegram. But we're going to open up for WhatsApp and Signal, especially WhatsApp. If we have any caller, any contribution you have, please go ahead. And at the same time, I would ask Miss Susan. She had mentioned in the past her connection, the connection religious Christians in Biafra land and those in Israel. The connection, how we are together and why we should all fight together to free our own people, to free Biafrans. Miss Susan, you have told me you can't wait for the time when you will step your foot on the ground, on the soil of Biafra land, that it will be like heaven. What is that going to be like? How will you feel it when Biafra has been actualized and freedom at last?
Well, I might just pass out first on the floor crying. But once I get past that, I'm going to be very joyful, and I'm going to come over there and I'm going to celebrate with Biafrans their freedom. And I know it's coming because I know God is not going to push my spirit to fight so hard, and it's not going to come. It's going to come. And I know that Biafra land is a very holy place. You know, a lot of Biafrans trace their lineage to the Gad tribe, one of the lost tribes of Israel. So we know that the Biafrans, as a Christian, I do my studies, okay? Obviously, without Judaism, we would not have Christianity. So the Biafran people, you know, the Igbos that trace their ancestry to the Gad tribe, it's a very holy place. It's a very spiritual connection. It's a very spiritual place. You know, so once you all get your freedom, I'm going to pass out and I'm going to be like, somebody pinch me. I want to make sure it's real. And I'm going to cry, have tears of joy. And I want to come over there, and I have 3 dance-offs. I have 3 dance competitions because I definitely want to go to Ohafia. I want to watch the war dancers in Ohafia. And I want to have dance competitions to enjoy and celebrate the freedom of Biafrans. And I know it's coming. I know it's coming. This is the storm before the sun. It's coming. And everybody, like you said, has to prepare and remain resolute and never give up. Just like Miss Deneen said, we might have to continue to call our congressmen and legislature. We can't give up. After somebody says, no, we don't want to listen to you. No, you're going to listen to me. You're going to listen. And Nnamdi Kanu is going to be free. I feel it in my spirit. And let me tell you, Biafran's freedom is coming. I know this. I know this. And one thing I know about Biafrans is they don't ever give up. Okay? After you fail once, they don't give up. They keep going until they succeed. It's called persistence and endurance. So basically, I'm going to come over there and celebrate. And hopefully hopefully they'll consider me as U.S. ambassador to Biafra.
You're already an ambassador to Biafra. We're just gonna make it official. We're gonna have all of you guys. Miss Dean, Miss Susan. We're gonna dance the Biafran dance. And we're gonna sing hallelujah. I want to apologize for the noise coming from behind, but we will soon get this program to an end. And I will thank every one of our listeners tonight. And I will thank especially Miss D, who the last minute joined this presentation. And also Miss Susan. Yes, we talked about a week ago. And yet we are honored to have you this evening. Miss D and Miss Susan, from the bottom of my heart and from the Biafrans listening. I know it's getting late in Biafra land this evening, and this is the first time we are opening up the line for them to call, but the time has gone fast. Can't believe that's already 1 hour and some minutes, and we will bring this to a close this evening. Miss Susan and Miss Dean, from here, Washington, D.C., Biafra 360, Biafra Freedom with Miss Susan and Miss Dean. I would say good night and thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.